Okay, so tell us a bit more about then your journey from being a jobber or a trader to one of the best known fund managers, PMS fund runner. Explain that story to us.
See, I had that determination to learn it. You know, so more than trading on making some money on those things, or making some money using the imperfection of the market. That was one of the best opportunities in those days, a person like me. But my focus was on learning it. How this happens, how these equities, you know, equity as an asset class, how these companies are progressing, the compounding of wealth creation using the equities. So these things used to amaze me, and I was so keen on learning it. Of course, this is still a learning process. Nobody is an expert in equities, ANUJ, I would tell you. It's a continuous learning process. You have to be humble, looking at the market, the equities, the structure of the markets, it go on changing, and the opportunities go on changing, the economy cycles. So it is too dynamic a subject, and you know, it is so challenging. And at the same time, I would say, from a value investing point of view, it is too simple also. You know, I always say, you do your arithmetic well, but keep it simple. That's my philosophy of value investing.
Give us an example in say by one stock where you applied this simple philosophy and that stock turned out to be multi-bagger. There have been a lot of multi-baggers in your portfolio, but just give us one example.
Yeah, one of those examples I remember on CNBC. I have talked about it when it was much below 1,000. I started picking a stock, Force Motors. And it was a very interesting thing. It used to be 425 rupees. This is Firodia promoted company, and Bajaj were the partners. And Bajaj had a holding of around 23%. They started selling. So, and the company's fundamentals have been on an increase. So there was some confusion, and some people were doubting the integrity of the promoters, because they bought an aircraft for 160-70 crores with the shareholders' wealth. And they gave charity of 25 crores, which is much more than the dividends they paid. This is 3 years ago I am talking about. So I remember people were all selling off, and Bajaj started selling. So in such a way, nobody was comfortable buying it. That kind of a situation. But when I analyzed it, I had that knowledge of the relationship or the enmity between Firodias and Bajaj guys since last few decades. So I took it in a different angle. This can be an inflection point for the company. I always remember, most of my great picks have been because of the inflection point of this company or industry in particular. So Bajaj selling can motivate Firodias to create wealth for that. And Firodias themselves buying, that was visible in the market, what they disclosed to the stock exchange. So that is why I was very sudden in taking that decision. I didn't do much number crunching. I know basically, it was the worth of the company and what they are doing, and it's a monopolistic kind of the traveler.
Yes,
it is something amazing vehicle for this country. Still they are the leaders with around 50-60% market share, and that is growing much more than the overall. That segment is growing than the overall automobile sector. So there were many factors, many maybe hundreds of things comes to your RAM when you look at a stock. You can't really define why this.
But identifying inflection point is the most important point.
So in which, more than number crunching, I would say the common sense approach and the wisdom. That is the most important ingredients in stock picking. And I remember the stock in another 1.5 years, it went to 3,500 rupees. There was no change in the fundamentals of the company. The perception changed. Once the stock price goes up, India typically, the promoter become very high quality. I can tell you there are a lot of examples but it's not fair to talk about many managements personally. But I am telling you, there are many companies, when the stock price is low, it quoted 3 and 4 PE. Generally the investors feel traders,
management is not
chore kind of thing. And the same stock, if it goes at 10 times and 20 times,
the management pedigree also improves.
Yeah, they are telling this is very classy management.
Price is king, right?
Yeah, the price makes the perception on the management change, which is not fundamentally correct, but it happens.
But at the end of the day, you got to make money.
Yeah. So that is why when you identify an inflection point of a company or an industry, and when things are not in fancy, when you pick stocks comfortably with the basic arithmetic and common sense, I think it is abundance of opportunities in the Indian market.
Is the move over in Force Motors, but though you think, or
We sold it. We sold in we just after 15 months, and most of our clients made long-term capital gains. So it was something well priced.
what about something like an SML Isuzu compared to Force Motors? Have you done any such comparison?
Yeah, it's very. They also have moved up recently. We also bought for some new clients a few months back, and that also we exited in short-term capital gains. In fact, so because the market opportunity in India is not only just buying and holding tight.
Okay.
It is too dynamic. Smart stock pickers can make even medium-term opportunities, to their advantage, and that is required perhaps to create that superior rate of return on a CAGR basis.
Okay.